You are alone in the wilderness. Night is fallen, and you're beginning to set up camp. You need firewood, but you've been warned about the forest here. There's something dangerous hiding among the trees, but your supplies are running low and you need a fire. So you start to chop wood, but then you hear it, a blood-curdling scream that echoes through the trees. Then another and another and another. You run. Welcome back to another episode of the most terrifying camping stories. Today we'll be telling 2 creepy camping tales from Norway. So grab your camping supplies and get ready for an adventure. Because it is gone, now be a scary one. Let's go camping. It's August 1908, and you are a resident of the small Norwegian village of Lygnstøyl. Life is simple, it's slow, and it's peaceful. That is until early in the morning on August 1908, when you wake up and the landscape looks a little different. It's not that anything has changed exactly, it's more that something is missing. You look down the valley and realize there's a large lake where the river used to flow. A landslide had dammed the river overnight, and the entire valley was now a lake. The village was gone. All that remained were the church spire and the tops of the mountain. People had woken up in their beds and watched their homes disappear into the rising water. Roads, farms, outbuildings, all gone. Not even the church was safe. Water filled the bell tower, drowning its mournful toll. Some villagers made it out alive. They climbed to the tops of the mountains and watched as the deluge continued for days. When it was over, they descended the mountain to find their village completely inundated. Their beautiful town was now Lygnstøylvatnet, or in English, the drowned village lake. Some say not everyone left the village that day. Some say there were a few people left behind. Maybe they didn't know how to swim, or maybe they were too scared to leave their homes. Maybe they were taking stock of the damage and didn't notice the water rising until it was too late. Or maybe they were taking care of someone else, like a sick relative. It is said that a mother stayed in her home so she could take care of her sick child. Others say there was a couple who refused to leave their home because they would have nowhere else to go. Whatever the reason, some say the ghosts of the villagers remain trapped inside their submerged homes. Today, divers tell a tale of eerie discovery. When they dive the depth of the lake, they tell stories of entire rooms preserved under the water, complete with furniture and dishes on the tables. One diver even claims to have seen a rocking horse moving by itself in an underwater house. He described the sight as being like something from a horror movie. Even more chilling are the reports of mysterious screams. Hikers and campers in the area often report hearing the sound of a woman screaming at dawn. It is said that those who hear the screams are in mortal danger and should leave the area immediately. Before we move on to our next story, let us know in the comments below what you would do if you heard screaming coming from the water while camping. Would you stay put, or would you hike away as fast as you could? And if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to hit the like button to help us reach our goal of 100,000 likes. We'd really appreciate it. Also, make sure to subscribe for more scary camping stories. Now it's time for our second story, The Curse of the Screaming Bride. We're back in Norway, but this time we're in a different place. Your car is almost out of gas. You're miles from service and you've got nothing but mountains and forests all around you. But you spot a small cabin up ahead and decide to check it out. As you approach, you notice a weathered sign nailed to the door that warns, "Beware of dog," but you knock anyway. A gruff man opens the door and invites you in. He's got a thick beard, dirt under his fingernails, and a suspicious glint in his eye. You feel like you've just stepped onto the set of a horror movie. After warming up with some hot cocoa, you decide to ask the old man about the area. Where are the rest of the locals? Is there anywhere to get gas nearby? Are there any hiking trails around? But he doesn't answer any of your questions. Instead, he leans in close and whispers, "Don't trust the lake. Don't trust the water. When the sun goes down, you must keep moving. If you stay too long, she might take you with her." Before you can ask who she is, he disappears into his bedroom. You look around for something to do to pass the time and find an old journal. You open it and begin reading. The journal tells the tale of a young woman who lived in the village that once stood where the lake now resides. It tells how she fell in love with a young man from a neighboring village. They planned to marry, but her parents disapproved of him and forbade the union. On the day of the wedding, the bride-to-be waited for her beloved at the altar, but he never came. Heartbroken, she fled the church and ran to the river valley. There she drowned herself in the river. It is said she could be heard screaming as the water filled her lungs and the cold water took her life. Then one day, the river overflowed, turning the valley into a lake and sealing the bride's body in the earth. Legend says that every year on the anniversary of her death, she comes up to the surface to search for her lost love. She searches for him among the boats of the fishermen or mistakes hikers for her one true love. And when she finds them, She pulls them under the surface to be with her forever. You close the book and the old man appears behind you. He tells you that he's known many who have met their demise at the lake. Some have been pulled under the surface. Others have vanished without a trace. He claims that once the sun goes down, you shouldn't be outside. You should run to your car and drive away from the lake as fast as you can. The screams of the bride can lure anyone to the lake, but once you're there, you can never come back. Before you can respond, the lights go out. You fumble for the door in the dark, but you can't find it. You bump into the old man and he shoves you to the ground. You try to scream, but no sound comes out. You struggle to your feet and finally find the door. You flee into the night. The old man closed behind you. You hear him whispering, "She's coming for you," over and over again. You can hear the angry lapping of water in the distance. It sounds close. You run as fast as you can, but it seems like the lake is chasing you. Finally, you hear the sound of your own screams echoing through the trees. What did you learn from this story? If you ever see a lake in the middle of a mountain valley, no matter how inviting it may look, never go near it, especially after dark. After all, you never know what secrets lie beneath the surface. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed these scary camping stories. Now it's time for the out. Remember, when the water screams, don't answer. Do you believe in ghosts? Have you ever seen one? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Also, make sure to check out our other videos for more scary camping stories.
What if the cold itself is a veil? What if certain places in this world aren't just haunted, but openings? Tonight, when you lie in bed and the room goes cold, when your window fogs up from the inside, just remember, some things walk the snow and leave no footprints. This was Mr. Horror Night, and this was the first tale of many frozen truths buried in Norway silence. When the sun dipped behind Tromsø's snow-laden rooftops, a biting wind swept down from the fjords. It snaked between houses, whistling tales of an ancient chill. My breath puffed out before me, each exhale a dragon's sigh in the gathering gloom. Up ahead, the old buildings of the town huddled close, seeking solace in numbers. Over the years, the town had changed, grown, yet parts of it remained stuck in time, frozen in the amber of winter. Today, the streets bustled with shoppers, tourists, and students, unaware of what lurked beneath the snow. But I was here for those secrets. I was here to listen to the whispers of Tromsø's past. I rounded a corner and stopped my gaze, drawn to a lone structure standing apart from the rest. The others, the townspeople called it the Cold House, a title earned not from its stone and mortars, but from the sorrow it held within. They said it was cursed. That curse seeped into the marrow of anyone foolish enough to enter its icy embrace. Official records labeled it the Psychiatric Facility of Tromsø, built in 1907. It was meant to be a beacon of hope, a place to heal the fractured minds lost in winter's endless night. But it soon gained a reputation as grim and foreboding. Inside its high-ceilinged halls, patients whispered of inhuman shadows and phantom screams. It was like being trapped in a snow globe where the outside world couldn't see, hear, or touch the horrors within. It was in 1958 that the tragedy reached its chilling peak. A fire ripped through the facility. It spread like a hungry beast, devouring everything in its path. 2 patients perished, their souls trapped forever in that inferno. Since then, it had stood empty, its windows vacant eyes staring out at the world. The locals spoke of an eerie glow scene around the site at night, a spectral light that beckoned those brave or foolish enough to come closer. But once they stepped onto the property, they felt an overwhelming sense of dread, a cold that chilled them to the bone, urging them to flee. It was almost as if the house itself wanted to be left alone. As the fire investigation showed, the blaze had started in the women's ward, but there were no signs of arson. The charred remains of 2 beds lay where they had been, suggesting the patients had simply slept as the flames engulfed them. Was it a tragic accident, malevolent intent, or something more sinister? The official reports offered no answers, but the townspeople knew there was more to the story. Whispers spoke of cruel experiments performed on the patients, of needles, of cages, and of things best left undisturbed. These tales spun by the townspeople sounded like the ramblings of a madman. Yet a deep unease had settled in my gut, a feeling that something dark and disturbing lingered within those crumbling walls. It was a bitter pill to swallow, especially since the fire. After that, the institution was deserted, sealed away with a heavy padlock on the front door and a warning sign hung like a shroud over the entryway. For a moment, I considered turning back, But curiosity gnawed at me. I had come too far to give up now, so I pushed the rusty gate open and stepped inside. As the iron gate creaked shut behind me, it felt as if the very air grew colder. The silence pressed down on me, broken only by the mournful cry of a crow somewhere in the distance. The main building loomed before me, its facade grim and imposing. The windows were dark and vacant, like the eyes of a skull. I walked slowly towards it, each step crunching on the gravel path. The closer I got, the heavier the oppressive atmosphere became, like an invisible hand squeezing the joy out of my lungs. The paint on the building was peeling, revealing the bare wood beneath like a patient's skin. The words "psychiatric facility," carved above the main entrance, seemed to mock me, daring me to enter. For a moment, I hesitated. The legends surrounding this place, the stories of disappearance and madness, swirled in my mind. But there was something here that drew me in, something I needed to understand. With a deep breath, I pushed open the door and stepped inside. The interior was shrouded in darkness, the only light filtering in through grimy windows high above. Dust motes danced in the pale beams, disturbed by the sudden movement. The air was stale and cold, carrying the scent of decay and despair. I moved forward, my footsteps echoing in the vast emptiness. Suddenly, a draft stirred around me, though every window and door was firmly shut. Then I saw it, a book lying open on the floor, its pages brittle and yellowed with age. I bent down and picked it up. The leather cover was cold to the touch, and as I brushed off the dust, the words Elias appeared, scrawled in what looked like blood. Turning the brittle page, I found sketches of the building in a chilling inscription. Where the north wind howls and the snow lies deep, he walks among us, secrets to keep. Who was Elias? Why had he been here? His journal hinted at a darkness that went beyond the whispers in town, deeper into the frozen heart of the asylum. It seemed that Elias had seen things here that no one else could. Creatures that slithered in the shadows and fed on the despair. But what were these creatures? And why were they drawn to this place? I pondered these questions as I explored further, venturing into rooms filled with rusted medical equipment and the lingering echoes of tormented souls. But I wasn't alone. I could feel eyes watching me from the corners of my vision, hear whispers brushing against my ear. The temperature plummeted, and the hair on the back of my neck stood on end. Fear tightened its grip on me, whispering that I should flee while I still could. But I couldn't turn back. Not only did I want to solve the mysteries of the cold house, I needed to. As I descended deeper into the labyrinth of the asylum, the horror Elias had described began to feel all too real. The weight of untold suffering pressed down on me, suffocating me with despair. I stumbled upon padded walls and straitjackets, relics of a time when hope was locked away along with the patients' minds. But the most disturbing discovery was yet to come. Hidden in the basement, I found a secret room. Inside, carved into the wall, was a single word. Urd is the first of 3 Norns in Norse mythology, the spinners of fate, controlling the lifelines of men. Her sisters Verdandi and Skuld decide and shape the future. Could this place hold the key to understanding the tragedies that unfolded here? Was I about to unravel the threads of the asylum's fate? The more I uncovered, the deeper the mystery seemed to become. I was like a moth drawn to a flame, compelled despite the danger. And as the night wore on, I realized I might not escape this frozen hell unscathed.